Hello, boys and girls. Today we are going to work on equivalent fractions. Equivalent fractions. So if fractions are equivalent, that means that they're equal. So we're on lesson 9.7 in our math workbooks, our chapter 9 math workbook, lesson 9.7. You need to turn to page 545. 545. It should look just like mine. So first it gives us a problem, because then we can relate how fractions are used in the real world. It gives us a math problem we're going to unlock. So I am going to read this problem to you. Cole has a submarine sandwich here, and that's what we're going to read about. It says, Cole brought a submarine sandwich to the picnic. He shared the sandwich equally with three friends. So we have 3 friends, and we have Cole, and we have 1 sandwich. The sandwich was cut into eighths. What are 2 ways to describe the part of the sandwich each friend ate? So we're going to show 2 different ways we could divide it, and it'll equal, so they get the same amount of a sandwich. Because when you share something, when you get something to eat, you want your equal amount. I know I do. I want my share of the sandwich. So first of all, how many people shared the sandwich? Well, we've got 3 friends, and we have Cole. So altogether, we have 4 people are going to share that sandwich. Cole grouped the smaller pieces into 2s. Draw circles to show equal groups of 2 pieces to show what each friend ate. So we have 4 friends. If we group it by 2s, here's one group with 2 in it, because you see a dotted line where it's cut there. So there's 2 pieces. Here's another group with 2 in it. Here's another group with 2 in it. And here's another group with 2 in it. So we have 4 friends. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 friends. And they each get 2 pieces out of that 8 pieces. Because it says there's eighths, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the eighths he cut it into. We have 4 friends, so he grouped it so they would each get 2 equal pieces. So there are 4 equal groups. Each group is 1/4 of the whole sandwich. So each friend ate 1/4 of the whole sandwich. How many eighths did each friend eat? Well, how many out of the 8 did each friend eat? Friend number 1 got 2 of them pieces out of 8. So 1/4 and 2/8 are equivalent fractions. 1/4, because that would be 1 out of 4 groups, and 2/8, because it would be 2 pieces here out of 8 pieces, are equivalent fractions, since they both name the same amount of the sandwich. So 1/4 and 2/8 of the sandwich are 2 ways to describe the part of the sandwich each friend ate. Okay? So you could group it, have 4 groups, and they get 1 group. Or you could cut it in 8 pieces, and they would get 2 pieces out of the 8. So 1/4 and 2/8 are equivalent fractions. That means they name the same amount. All right, let's try one more thing on this page before we go to the next page. It says, try this. Circle equal groups. Write an equivalent fraction for the shaded part of the whole. So here's the whole thing. There's 8 pieces. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 of those eighths shaded. So that's where they got the 4/8. See that? That's 4/8 shaded. But if you grouped it, I could have a group here, and I could have a group here. So I have 2 groups. Out of those 2 groups, how many are shaded? This group is shaded. This group is not shaded. So if we did it in groups, it would be 1 out of 2 is shaded, or 1/2. which makes sense, boys and girls, because if you look at that, half of that is shaded and half of it is not shaded. So 4/8 is equivalent or equal to 1/2. Okay, boys and girls, that's page 400, or I apologize, that's page 545. Now we're going to go to page, all right, boys and girls, here we are on page 546, and we're up here with this example up here. It says Heidi ate 3/6 of her fruit bar. Molly ate 4/8 of her fruit bar. Which is the same size? Which girl ate more of her fruit bar? So the fruit bar is the same size. Heidi ate 3/6. Molly ate 4/8. Which girl ate more? Well, here's Heidi over here. All right, we're going to shade in 3/6 for Heidi. So there's 1/6, 2/6, 3/6. We're going to shade in Heidi's. That's how much of her fruit bar she ate. Then it says Molly ate 4/8. All right, so we have to shade in 4/8 of Molly. So there's 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8. Okay, is 3/8 greater than, less than, or equal to 4/8? Well, look here. The fruit bar is the exact same size. We could pick this one up, set it on that one. They're exact same size. And if you look at how much is shaded in, look carefully, boys and girls. Look at the size of the fruit bar and look how much is shaded in. It's 3/6, this would be 3/6, and this is 4/8. Are they greater than, less than, or equal to? They are equal. 3/8 is equal to 3/6 is equal to 4/8. So they're equal. So both girls, what they did, they ate the same amount. See, they ate the same amount of their fruit bar. Now, they cut their fruit bar into different size pieces, but they ended up eating the same amount out of the original size of that fruit bar. Okay, so let's look down here where it says try this. Each shape is one hole. So this is one hole shape, this is one hole shape, this is a hole shape, and this is a hole shape. They're rectangles. Write an equivalent fraction for the shaded part of the models. All right, well here it says 6/3. So here, there's 6 pieces shaded in, and there's 3 on 1. That's our denominator. Here our denominator is 6, which comes from one hole. What's going to go on top? Okay, what is going to go on top here? Well, if you've got a 6 here, you counted all the pieces. So you're going to count all of these pieces. You would have 12 pieces. So 3/6 equals 12/6. Or you could say 6/3 equals 12/6. And these are all shaded in green, these are all shaded in blue, and they're the exact same size. They're the exact same size. Now we're going to look at some circle models for fractions, and some number lines, and some other pictures to help us visually see when fractions are equivalent, when they're equal. I'm going to push this up so we can see the share and show, and make it a tiny bit bigger. Okay. So each shape is one hole. This is one hole shape, this is one hole shape. Use the model to find the equivalent fraction. So here we have 2/4. So this circle that has an orange yellowish color, there's 4 pieces and 2 of those pieces are shaded in. So that's 2/4. That's 2/4. Now if you look at this one, it's cut in half. There's 2 pieces. Out of those 2 pieces, one of them is shaded in. So the fraction of this shaded in would be 1/2. And it's quite obvious to see that these circles are the same size. This is cut into 4 pieces, but 2/4 pieces is the exact same size as this 1/2 pieces. These 2 shaded parts, this blue and this orange, are the exact same size, same amount. So 2/4 is equal to 1/2. See, this one is 1/2. 2/4 is equal to 1/2. Okay, boys and girls, here it says each shape is one whole. So this is one whole shape. This is one whole shape. Now we have to do the shading. We have to shade the model to find the equivalent fraction. So this is a bar, like a rectangle. This is a rectangle. You're going to shade in as much on this rectangle as you shaded in here. So here we shade in this much. Does it look like we shaded the same amount? No, because you have this whole one shaded, you need this whole one shaded. So now if you look at it, on those two rectangles we have the same amount shaded in. This amount was shaded in blue, and we shaded this amount in with our pencils. If you look at this rectangle, 2 out of the 4 parts of it are shaded, so that's the 2/4. For over here, now we have 8 pieces. See the denominator? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's where they got the 8. Out of that 8, how many parts are shaded? You're right, boys and girls. I'm sure you said 4. 4 parts of that are shaded. Okay, this time for our model, we are going to use these circles. We have 2 circles divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Both of those blue circles are divided up into 6 equal pieces. And so we have a fraction greater than 1 here. We have 6 equal pieces as our denominator. With a fraction greater than 1, you have the bigger number on top. So you count all the pieces are 12. So there's 12 over 6 goes with these 2 circles that are blue. Now we're going to shade in our other circles to match this. So we're going to shade in as much on these 2 circles as what was shaded in on the blue ones. So shade them in so they match the amount that's shaded in. The whole thing shaded in here and here, so we have to shade in the whole thing here. Well, these are not divided into 6 equal parts. These are divided into 3 equal parts. So that's where we got the denominator. The denominator is how many parts in a whole. So there's 3. And then how many parts altogether are shaded? You're right, boys and girls, there's 6. There is 6. Okay, great job on that. So 12 over 6 is going to equal 6 over 3. Or you could say it as 12/6 equals 6/3. All right, look at number 4. Number 4 says, Andy swam 8/8 of a mile in a race. Use the number line to find a fraction that is equivalent to 8/8. Okay, using the number line, what fraction is equivalent to 8/8? The first thing you have to do is find your 8/8 on the number line. So I go over here to my number line. Here's 8/8. If it's equivalent to it on the number line, it has to be in the exact same spot. So here's my 8/8. Down below my 8/8 is 4/4. So that tells me that 8/8 is equal to 4/4. And we have talked about this before. Students, we've talked about how any number over itself like that is going to equal 1. So 8 over 8 would equal 1. 4 over 4 would equal 1. 3 over 3 would equal 1. So if they're all going to equal 1, they are equal. They are equivalent fractions. But we proved that on this number line. We found 8/8 and then 4/4. We proved that they are equal. They're in the exact same spot right there. So they are equal. All right, make sure you have that page filled in. Now we need to take a look at page 547. Look at page 547. It'll look like this. 547. Okay? All right. We have circle equal groups to find the equivalent fractions. So we're going to circle equal groups, and it helps us find equivalent fractions. For number 5, it says 3/6 equals some missing number, some missing numerator, over 2. The denominator is 2. Well, the denominator's 2, so I'm going to have two groups here. I have one group, two groups. Okay? Now, obviously out of 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 of them were shaded. That's where they got the 3, 6. But now we have groups. We have two groups. We have two groups. We have this group and this group. Now, out of those two groups, which one's shaded? Is that one shaded? Is that one shaded? Are they all shaded? Out of these groups, how many are shaded? You're right. One group is shaded. One group is shaded. And I want to show you something. For this one, 3 out of 6 was shaded. Well, 3 is half of 6. You know that, boys and girls. 3 is actually half of 6. So 3/6 equals 1/2 makes sense to us because 3 is half of 6. Okay, let's use this one over here to make groups. Now this bottom number here, no, 6 over 6 is what they have. 6 over 6 is all of them shaded in, but it wants us to circle equal groups. This 3 down here tells us we want 3 groups. Okay, we want 3 groups, and it has to be equal groups. So we would have 1, 2, 3 equal groups. We have 3 equal groups. Looking at those 3 equal groups, how many of those are shaded in? How many are shaded in? 1, 2, 3. All of them are shaded in. So that proves to us that 6 over 6, or 6/6, equals 3 over 3, or 3/3. Now I want you to go where it says on your own. Okay, each shape is one whole. Shade the model to find the equivalent fraction. So the first one is done for us. This is the 1/2. That goes with that. That's the 1/2. 1 out of 2 parts are shaded. Now look here. We have to shade this to match that. So shade this in. Shade that in. And it gives us the numerator that 2 are shaded in out of how many parts? You're right. 2 are shaded in out of 4. Now we have to go to the next shape. And we have to shade the model so that it's equivalent. So this much is shaded, this much is shaded. You need to shade this in. Just shade it in with your pencil. Okay, the denominator is because the 8 is because we have 8 equal parts. But out of those 8 parts, how many are shaded? You're correct. Out of the 8 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4 of those are shaded in. So 1/2 equals 2/4, and it also equals 4/8. And that makes sense to me because I know that 4 is half of 8 and 2 is half of 4. So 1/2 equals 2/4, and it also equals 4/8. That picture proved it. Okay, let's try number 8. Now, they gave us the denominator 2 over here. So this goes with these 2 that are shaded in. We have to shade these in to match those circles over there. So shade these in. And those blue circles are all shaded in. So we have to shade in the whole thing to match it. Now here you had 1, 2, 3, 4 over 2. For here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 parts right there. 8 parts over how many? Well, our denominator is going to be how many parts in one whole. So how many parts in one whole? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we put a 4 here. Let's keep doing this same thing. It says we need to circle equal groups to find the equivalent fraction. Okay, there's 8 different equal parts. That's where we got our denominator. Out of that, 6 of them are colored in green. So that's where we get the fraction 6 over 8, or 6/8. It's going to equal 4, what? It's going to equal some missing numerator over 4. Well, we have to do equal groups. So how many equal groups do we do? Well, it tells us 4 equal groups. That 4 is going to tell us 4 equal groups. So we're going to do 1, 2, equal, so it has to have the same number in each group. We have 4 equal groups there. Out of those 4 equal groups, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. How many of those groups are shaded? Out of those 4 groups, how many are shaded? Let's count. 1, 2, 3. 3 out of 4 of those groups are shaded. So it shows that 6 over 8 is equal to 3 over 4. And that is true. Okay, let's look at number 10. Number 10, we have 2/6 is going to equal sum missing numerator over 3. We got the 2/6 because 2 out of these 6 are shaded. 2 out of 6 are shaded, but we have to make equal groups. That 3 tells us we're going to have 3 equal groups. So 1, 2, 3 groups. Out of those groups, how many are shaded? You got 1, 2, 3 groups. This group is shaded. This one is not shaded. This one is not shaded. So 1 out of the 3 groups is shaded. 1 out of the 3 groups is shaded. So 2/6 equals 1/3. Now we have to write the fraction that names the shaded part of each circle. Okay, we have this circle. It's cut into 6. I'm just going to number them to show you. Sometimes you have to touch them or number them to make sure you get the right parts. There's 6 equal parts. So 6 is going to be my bottom number. 6 is my denominator. Now how many are shaded? The shaded ones are blue. So how many are blue? There are 2. So 2/6, or 2 out of 6 of those equal parts are shaded. What would we do for this one, boys and girls? Look at the circle. See how many parts. First, that would be your denominator. So we're going to have 4 equal parts for our denominator. And how many of those equal parts are shaded? How many are blue? You are correct. There's 1. Okay, go ahead and do the next one. Now you have 3 equal parts, 3 altogether. And how many are shaded? Because we're writing the fraction that names the shaded part. 1 out of 3 of those are shaded. Okay, boys and girls, for the next one, how many equal parts do you have? You're correct. You have 4 equal parts. And how many are shaded? How many are shaded? There's 2 shaded out of that 4. And then, boys and girls, how many parts do we have here? How many equal parts? Let's number them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 equal parts. The number of equal parts in a whole is our denominator. How many is shaded is our numerator. So how many is shaded? 2. Very good. Now looking at that, which pairs of fractions are equivalent? So which ones could you pick the piece up and it would set right on top of the other one? They would be equivalent. So let me help you. First of all, let's just start with 2/6. See this one 2/6 here? Which one of those other fractions would be equivalent? That blue piece would be equivalent to 2/6. Well, this one wouldn't, because if you put that over there, it's not going to fit. But if I go over here to the 1/3, I could pick up that piece there, that blue piece that's 1/3, and set it over here, and it would fit perfectly over here on the 2/6. So that tells me that 2/6 and 1/3 are equivalent. Are there any others? Look carefully. Are there any others? Well, you could take that blue part and just pick it up and put it on the other circle on the blue part, and they'd match exactly. They'd be equivalent. They take up the equal amount of space. I think you've probably found it. If you look at 1/4, this one is 1/4. You could take that piece of blue shade and set it right on top of that one. So the 1/4 and the 2/8, they are equivalent fractions. They could set right on top of each other and take up the same amount of space. Those two are equal. Those two are equal. Okay, we're down at the bottom now. So at the bottom here, I'm going to try to make it a little bigger. We need to draw our pizza. It says, Matt cut his small pizza into 6 equal pieces and ate 4. Josh cut his, the same size of pizza, into 3 equal pieces and ate 2. Write fractions for the amount they ate, and are the fractions equivalent? Draw to explain. Let me do my circle. Here's my pizza, and I do love pizza, so I like talking about pizza. And try to get your circles as close as you can to the same amount. So this one would be Matt. So Matt cut his into 6 equal pieces, and he ate 4. So we need 6 equal pieces. I'm going to try stretch out Y here maybe, and then another line there, and there, and there. So I should have 6 equal pieces. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for Matt. Okay. And then Josh, same size pizza, he cut his into 3 equal pieces, and he ate 2. So he cuts his into 3 equal pieces. So I'm going to try like a stretched out Y. And I have 1, 2, 3 equal pieces. As close as I can get. Nobody's perfect. As close as I can get to my equal pieces. So Matt eats 4. So he'll eat 1, 2, 3, 4. He ate 4 out of 6. And Josh ate 2 out of 3. So Josh ate 1, 2. Okay. So then this is Josh, and he ate 2/3 of his. Now, Matt ate 4/8 and Josh ate 2/3. Are they equal? Well, they really are. I mean, it's hard to draw this exactly the same, but this piece is pretty much going to lay on this piece and take up the same amount of space. They have about the same amount of their pizza left. So really, and again, I'm not the perfect drawer, but really this should illustrate that 4/6, or 4 out of 6, and 2 out of 3 are equal. They are equivalent. So they ate the same amount. They are equivalent. So you want, anytime you draw candy bars, rectangles, squares, circles, as close as you can to the same size. Mine weren't exactly the same size, but as close as I could get. And this amount would equal this amount. Maybe my circle should have been a little taller, but as close as I could get, and it showed that they were equal because the same amount was not eaten, and the same amount was left on the pizza. So if my Y was maybe a little bit like that, but it's hard to get it perfect, but they ate the same amount. 4/6 and 2/3 are equivalent. They are equivalent. Okay, we have one more page to do together. It is page 548. We're going to do this one together, and then you'll do 2 pages on your own, 549 and 550. So get that. Look at page 548. That's the last one we'll do together. Okay, boys and girls, we are on page 548 now. Page 548. Let me pull this down so we can see a little better, doing some problem solving. Okay, it says Christy bought 8 muffins. She chose 2 apple, 2 banana, and 4 blueberry. She and her family ate the apple and banana muffins for breakfast. What fraction of the muffins did they eat? Okay, write an equivalent fraction, draw a picture. Well, she has 8 muffins, so let's do 8 muffins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are my little square muffins. Okay, 2 of them are apple, 2 are banana, and 4 are blueberry. They ate the apple, so they ate these 2 apple. They ate the apple and the banana, and there were 2 bananas, so these would be my 2 banana. They ate those 2 and they ate those 2. What fraction of the muffins did they eat? Well, they ate 1, 2, 3, 4 muffins. Out of how many muffins altogether? 8. So they ate 4/8 of the muffins. Now if I shade those in, and now I have them circled, I'm going to shade these in. I've shaded in 4 of them. out of the 8. So an equivalent fraction could be I ate half of them. If you notice that, the family has 8 altogether and ate 4 of them, so they ate half of them. So an equivalent fraction to that would be 1/2. So 1/2 is equivalent. Okay, boys and girls, that's number 13. Now we'll look at number 14. 14 says, after dinner, 2/3 of the cornbread is left. So this over here is our cornbread, and this is how much is left. So some of it's gone, but a lot of it's left. Suppose there's 4 friends, they want to share it equally. What fraction names how much of the whole pan of cornbread each friend will get? So I'm going to kind of redraw my cornbread. I'm going to move this up. Hopefully you got 13. Make this a little bigger. I'm going to redraw my circle for my cornbread. I have 4 friends, but I want to make it still about the way they split it up here. So there would be my drawing to kind of match that. Then I want to split it up in equal pieces. So 4 friends are going to each get a piece, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. So if you want them to get equal pieces of what's left, because this is already gone, they're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. So, and the 4 friends are each going to get 1 out of how many pieces altogether? 6. So each friend will get 1/6 of the whole. It says in mine the whole pan, the whole pie, the whole pan. Okay, do you get that? This part's already going to be gone. So you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each friend will get 1/6, and they're each going to get a piece when those 4 friends come along to finish eating up the cornbread. Okay, 15 says there are 15 people. I apologize. 15 says there are 16 people having lunch. Each person wants 1/4 of a pizza. How many whole pizzas are needed? Draw a picture to show your answer. Well, you are going to need, you've got 16 people, and when we circle that 4 for the 4th, that tells us we would have 4 groups. So that would be like doing division. If we had 16 divided by 4 is going to equal 4. We would have 4 pizzas. Okay, remember, since you're so good at multiplication and division, you can use it to help you with fractions. You would have 16, you would draw 4 groups, you would have 4 in each group. Okay, 16 people in 4 groups, that tells you groups. You would have 4 pizzas. Okay? Number 16 said, Lucy has 5 oatmeal bars, each cut in half. Here's her 5 oatmeal bars over here, and they're each cut in half. What fraction names all the oatmeal bars halves? Well, there's 10 halves altogether. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If Lucy cuts each part of the oatmeal bar into 2 equal pieces to share with friends, what fraction names all of the oatmeal bar pieces now? Well, that means you could cut these in half. So instead of just having 10 pieces, you're going to have 20. And so that would show that 10 over 2 would equal 20 over 4. They are equivalent fractions. They equal the same amount. One more thing down at the bottom, think smarter. Mr. Peters made a pizza. There is 4/8 of the pizza left over. Select the fractions that are equivalent to the part of the pizza that's left over. Mark all that apply. Well, he made the pizza and there's 4/8 left over. So they ate 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 left over. 4 left over. There's 8 pieces altogether. And there's 4 left over. So that to me looks like half of that is gone. So that would definitely work. Half of that is gone. Okay? Half of that is gone. Now if we had divided that pizza just into 4s, it would be looking like this. And we colored it to match that. It would be 2 out of 4. So this one would also work here. but the 5/8 and the 3/4 would not work at all. Okay, so that's the rest of page 548. Now on your own, you are going to do pages 549 and 550. Again, you are going to do those pages on your own, 549 and 550. So 549 looks like this. 549 looks like this. You'll do that, and you'll do 550 on your own as well, and then you will submit those, of course, with a puzzle piece on Schoology. All right, thank you very much, boys and girls. Have a wonderful day.